Hello friend, nice of you to join me today. I haven't been making many treatment or impersonal videos lately because I've been unwell, asthma. So I've gone and purchased myself 200 grams of hyssop. So I haven't been able to work. I haven't been able to work without coughing. So I'm feeling a little bit better now. It's still not super great. My asthma seems to be more about allergies, having a runny nose, needing to swallow all the time, and then coughing when I talk, and coughing so hard that I start vomiting. So I thought something that stopped me from having a runny nose and needing to swallow all the time could be beneficial. Gone to a Chinese herbalist who gave me some herbs to take, but it was $120 for 4 days worth of herbs, which is just crazy in my opinion, whereas both of these together was $32, so I think it's far more financially viable to make my own tincture. But let's have a read of hyssop and its properties. So, the breath or vapour of hyssop diverts away the wind that is in the ears if they be holden over it. William Turner, 1562. Prescribed by Hippocrates for pleurisy, hyssop together with rue was recommended by Discorides, I don't know, that's a person I guess, for asthma and catarrh. Oh, asthma, there you go. Its name derives from the Greek word asub, or holy herb, although hyssop in the Bible seems more likely to have been local variety of marjoram. Hyssop is one of the more important of the 130 herb flavourings and liqueur chartreuse. I've never even heard that word before. I love seeing and learning new things. Chartreuse. Anyway, fascinating. So it's been around for a long time. And I was going to say with tinctures, no need to be afraid of them. They're very similar to a cough medicine. So here it says character: bitter, pungent, dry, slightly warming. Constituents: volatile oil, flavonoids, tannins, bitter, blah blah blah. That part is not overly relevant to where I'm going with this. So, actions, this is the part. Expectorant, that means it expels kind of the wet cough, removes the fluid from your throat, mouth. Carminative, relaxes peripheral blood vessels, promotes sweating. Anti-cart, I can't read today. Anti-catarrhal, topical, anti-inflammatory, antiviral, antispasmodic. There you go. So we use different parts. We've got the flowers here. The leaves. And oil and tincture. The aerial parts are the parts that grow above the ground. Aerial parts are mainly used as an expectorant in bronchitis, chesty colds and asthma. The aerial parts also ease flatulence and soothe gripping pains and were once popularly combined with figs for constipation. Good to know. They also promote sweating in chills and influenza. Harvest during flowering in the summer. That's if you're using the aerial parts, you harvest when it's flowering. The flowers were traditionally picked separately from the leaves and used in cough syrups. Fascinating. Essential oils. This increases alertness and is used in uplifting and gently relaxing nerve tonic, anxiety, depression. I won't be using the essential oil. It'd be very strong to ingest anyway. I wouldn't really go there. So how to use the applications. The aerial parts can be infused in a drink. So drink hot during the early stages of cold or influenza. Also take for digestive upsets and nervous stomach. The tincture, combined with other expectorant herbs such as licorice, elecampane, elecamp, I don't know if you say the end, and anise for bronchitis and stubborn coughs. That's definitely how I feel. So I don't have the whole turning blue, not really being able to breathe, there's kind of typical asthma responses. I mostly just cough and cough and cough and cough, like a chest infection, but the doctor said that it's asthma. And I take my Ventolin and inhaler and nothing was helping. So, alright, so syrup. So tincture's the first step and syrup is the next step, I suppose. Syrup would be more like the cough medicine actually, because cough medicines usually have a little bit of sugar to sweeten. Syrup for coughs use a syrup made from an infusion of either the aerial parts or the flowers, so I can do leaves and flowers. Of either the aerial parts or flowers combined with mullein flowers or licorice for stubborn coughs and lung weakness. Now, admittedly, I'm not a fan of licorice. I'm definitely not a fan of aniseed. I could probably tolerate licorice, but aniseed, no chance. Essential oil, that's this one here. You do a chest rub by diluting 10 drops of hyssop oil in 20 ml of almond or sunflower oil for bronchitis and chesty colds. Combine well with thyme and eucalyptus. That sounds good. So the essential oil is more topical. You're putting that on top of your skin as opposed to ingesting. Add 5 drops of bath water, 5 drops to bath water for nervous exhaustion, melancholy or sorrows. Fascinating. And caution, here we go. The essential oil contains the ketone pinecampone, which in high dose can cause convulsions. Yikes. do not take more than the recommended dose. So yeah, essential oil, you got to be careful thinking about any kind of ingestion. So that's the properties of hyssop. That's why I chose this particular herb. This is how it comes. I can tell by looking at this, it's mostly the aerial parts of the stems and leaves. It does not look to be flowers in there. However, it will still work for what I need it for. There's 100 grams in each bag. Pretty cool the way that it's packaged. So, tincture. So what I did to come to needing hyssop as opposed to any of the other herbs was reading at the back where it talked about problems with regards to lungs, which is what I'm struggling with at the moment. So yeah, because I haven't been able to talk without coughing, and I especially can't laugh, it's been very hard to treat people because you need to talk when doing beauty treatments. So tincture, standard quantities, 200 grams of dried herb to 1 litre of alcohol water mixture. Dilute 70 cl bottle, 35% vodka with 3.57 ml of water. So let me get my head around that and try to explain it in a way that perhaps makes sense. When you get vodka, it's around 37 to 40% vodka, which means that around 60% of the vodka you're getting is water, and it wants you to dilute it so that it's a 75% water, and then you add that to your jar of herbs. So tincture, you're putting the herbs into a jar, you're covering with the vodka water mixture, and you're sealing the jar and storing in a cool place for 2 weeks, shaking occasionally. So it's not going to be an overnight event. I will have to wait 2 weeks before using my hyssop tincture. That being said, I have been feeling a little bit better. Since taking an antihistamine with a sedative. The sedative helped calm me, so I was just kind of very sleepy, relaxed my lungs, relaxed my body, just helped me not have that racking cough that I'd had for, must have been 6 weeks. 6 weeks of coughing. My ribs hurt, my sternum hurt, my head hurt. Ooh. It was awful and depressing. So let us cut this open. To our jar, which I think is big enough. Just looks like grass, feels like grass. Let me have a smell. I can actually mostly only smell the paprika that was in this jar beforehand, so I may end up using this jar. Which has less of a smell. Depends if it fits in there, I guess. So also considering that my asthma soothed once I started taking antihistamine, I would say that it's likely triggered by allergies. But either way, I need that wet cough to go away. I didn't like that feeling of constantly needing to swallow. I get feel building up, have to swallow, builds up, have to swallow, builds up, has to swallow. And I'm deliberately not saying the types of words it was because those words actually screws me out. So let's just call it a wet cough. Driving me nuts. To the point where I just, as I said, just start vomiting. I'd be coughing so hard. Unable to talk, unable to laugh, unable to have customers, clients, enjoy life. It was really very frustrating. So obviously I won't be able to give you an update of the tincture just yet. But I wanted to run through the properties of hyssop and show you my new herbage, and then go off to make my tincture and then wait for 2 weeks, and in the meantime continue with my antihistamines. I am going to see if it will fit in this jar. I don't imagine my hyssop smelling or tasting like red peppers will be terribly bad, but I would prefer it to have no scent from the jar that it's stored in, so let's pour using my hands as a funnel. It does have a nice tinkly sound. Joli, Joli, Joli. I'd say that if it's in there quite snug, when I add the liquid, the vodka, water solution, the herbs will shrink down. And soon they'll be sitting sort of down here. So whether or not I would need to add more vodka liquid, or more to the point, will I fit a litre of liquid in here? That'll be the hardest thing to determine. If this jar doesn't hold a litre, then I would have to use the bigger jar. So we'll see. So I'll be off for now to go and work on my brew. My witchy brew, as my children say. And hopefully I'll have some luck with this, helping with that irritating cough. And it comes and goes like I'm alright at the moment. I'll be fine for a few months and then it'll just flare up again and be there for weeks. So hopefully when I'm able to take this, it will help make a difference. If there's a particular ailment that you yourself have that you'd like to learn about, a herb that would be suitable feel free to comment below and I can chat to you amongst the comments. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and hopefully I will have some beauty treatment videos coming up soon.